Hey guys, if you wondered why I was sort of maxing out my tool corner here, you might get some indication here. I've now got about a 142 inch long piece of 1080 steel that I'm going to need to cut into equal size portions for future use as knife, tool building, etc. This is not a very thick piece. I think it's 1/8 inch. So I'm just going to do a quick test with my Dremel Saw-Max and see how it makes this first cut. So basically it's a review of the Dremel Saw-Max doing carbon steel, and we're going to see how it's going to work here real fast. So we're going to grab this, we're going to run this real fast. Just to help my angle here, I'm going to flip this over real fast. Looking pretty good, guys. It's cutting like hot butter, so maybe I've underestimated the Dremel tool there. Alright guys, not a perfect cut, but it's my first go at it. So, not the best looking piece of steel I've ever seen, but it'll be big enough for me to work with later. So, okay guys, here we go. This is the little piece of 1080 steel and wood stock that I cut with it. I could quite easily have not cut the wood, which would have made it a lot easier, but it was a good test. So I've got this, and who knows, I might use that for a knife hilt sometime. And so got a pretty good cut there, not exactly even, but it's not required to be even. I just needed to cut into a small usable part that I'll be using in the near future. And the little and the wheel looks like it might have a few more cuts in its future. And so yeah, really got no complaints. As I work more with it, I'll get better at it. In fact, what I should have done is put it in a vise and just set it horizontally. Would have made it a lot easier. But this is good for the first test. Alright, what I'm going to do initially is I'm going to remove the scale and grime and dirt from this piece of 1080 steel. So I'm going to switch this on. Alright guys, I thought I would show the this particular stage and its outcome. You saw earlier this big chunk of 1080 steel, and you even saw me cut it off. This is the it's got a piece of wood for travel that extends down to the length, and this is the piece of wood that I recovered when I cut both the bar stock and the wood, and it appears to be a pretty good illustration of what I've done so far. So this is the point I'm at now. Hope I can get this to focus correctly. This is the bar stock, and this is the size of the piece of 1080 steel I started out with. So this is what I've gotten so far, and basically what I did in this case was I took the little bar stock and I did did the stock removal and got what looks vaguely like a knife. It's definitely not a professional looking initial cut, and I might be doing some more changes in it, but for a first knife that's not bad. I didn't show all of the grinding. Grinding is grinding. Basically I was grinding to shape, so I was using the Ryobi belt sander there, basically, virtually exclusively. I did also use a Dremel tool for some of the nooks and crannies. So, like I say, it's not perfect, but it's not bad. This is about all I'm going to show in this video. The next time what I'll show is I'll actually show beveling, and I will actually show some heat treating. Once I figure out what type of heat treating I need to do, either be by propane torch, basically hanging like a hot dog, or or I'll create my own little barbecue heat treatment area. The other part, the tempering, I can do in my oven or my toaster oven. So that's basically what I wanted to show you today, and I just wanted to show the Dremel tools did do relatively well. The Saw-Max, which did all of my cutting, but I went through two. This blade is not its normal size. It's maybe a half its size. I went through that blade, and I also went through this blade. The friction media, it wasn't standing up real good, and I wasn't using it correctly. I should have just simply let it slide down, and I was pressuring it, so that some of this was my fault, maybe most of it. But so the Dremel Saw-Max can be used as a tool. There is a chance you're going to be running into burning up a few discs with real thick material, because this is not thick material. This is only 1/8 inch, so it's not real thick material. And I used the Dremel 4200. It's just a standard Dremel tool. I just used the grind bits and the sawpaper bits to sort of remove a few of the faults that I did while I was scratching the scratches, etc. I did when I would cut it. And I used it to remove the burrs so I could hold it without cutting myself on any stray metal, so it is smooth all the way around. So I just want to show you that, and like I said, so I just wanted to give you a review. The Dremel Saw-Max can be used as a metal cutting tool. It works fine on 1/8. I haven't used it for 3/16 or higher yet, so we'll see how that works. But if you're going to do a basic knife and you want to do not a great job, but this is my first knife, so we'll see how that works. And the Dremel 4200 did fine. I was just doing touch-up work, making sure scale was gone, and I would slip and do a scratch, and I would buff out those scratches. Of course, in the final cut, I will need some paper, some sandpaper, some high grit 1000 plus to actually make it look like a finished blade, assuming I can do so. Like I said, it's my first try. Alright, this is Texas Tiger Digs, showing another little piece of the channel. I'm going to be making knives every once in a while. Not very often, because I'm a make-do person, so I'm making do in an area where my noise could be a problem, so I only can do it when there are not people around. So it makes it really interesting. So once again, the Suburban Detectors is also the Suburban Knife Maker. You just got to fit it in when you can. You guys have a wonderful day. I will see you next time.